All right, this video is gonna be a little bit of a longer one. Not often you can say, hey, I camped alongside the beach of San Diego. Posted this on Instagram. If you haven't followed me, make sure you do. Beauty is wild to eyes. Same brand everywhere. Lots of folks asking me, oh my God, where is this? I didn't know you could camp near the beach this close, etc., etc. Now, for those who know me, I prefer the mountains 9.999 times out of 10, but there is something about sleeping with the sound of the waves that's really, really nice. So here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer video. We're gonna go through things you need to know. I'm then gonna cover the rules as I always do. I'm gonna cover my pros and cons of staying here, and then we're gonna end with just video footage. So if you only care about what the place looks like, skip. I have the tags down below. If you wanna know the rules, anything like that, we're gonna jump into those now. So off the bat, the street to go in is actually a little bit confusing. So make sure you Google or you figure out 7201 Carlsbad Boulevard. Phone number is 760-438-3143. This is one of the things that I'll cover in the cons, but there is different pricing depending on what you need. And the cheapest site, which is an inland campsite, is 50 bucks. That's still kind of a lot. The ocean campsite is 70 bucks. You have an inland hookup of 75, ocean single hookup of 95, ocean double hookup of 140, and the Pelican Group site, which is all the way north, it's the biggest site there, is $650. I mean, that holds like a ton of people though. This popular bluff top campground is located 3 miles south of Carlsbad, 50 miles north of San Diego. Stairs lead to the beach. For more information, visit. So what you need to know if you do want to try finding something here, you have to go to Resort, California. You'll see Carlsbad Beach there. So park fees are due and payable upon entry. If you reserve online, you don't have to do that, but you do have to go, there's an official spot to go in. You'll get one of these little nice things, right? Put on your car. I'm not gonna go through this in all detail, but I'm gonna cover the main things. So occupancy, only 8 people and 3 licensed vehicles per site. No camping equipment in the planted areas. Seasonal stay limits, I mean, you can't stay more than 30 days per year, and then there's like, you know, different things. Vehicle parking, 1 vehicle fee is included with the reservation. Second and third vehicles are an additional $15 upon entry. Vehicles must be parked with an assigned campsite, not on the roadway in the planted area or beyond the campsite number. Hookup sites include power, water, and sewage. Double hookup sites may have 2 RVs and 2 trailers on a site and are not to exceed 4 licensed vehicles per site. The Pelican Group, as I mentioned, 40 people, 10 vehicles, a ton. Checkout time is noon. You can check in at 2 p.m. They do have a camp store and a little restaurant, which is something that I asked immediately as I always go in. There's a ranger there. I ask, hey, what should I know? They mentioned that, so they do have some food. I'll leave information again down below if you're curious about that. Lots of information up front, right? So that's things you kind of have to know. Now we're gonna jump into the rules. I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly. So speed limit, 15 miles inside. Pets must be on leash, not allowed on the actual beach. Fires are allowed only in established fire range. No wood fire allowed on the beach, only propane, etc. Do not leave campfires unattended. Obviously, plants are protected. Don't do anything to them. Generators, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. only. Quiet hours, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Ensure an enjoyable experience for everybody. Noise, just keep your shit down. Visitors, non-registered guests must exit by 10 p.m., which is quiet hours. Curfew, this is really interesting. All visitors under the age of 18 must be in their campsites between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Non-registered guests must not present in the campgrounds between the hours of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Alcohol, no glass, trucks, don't ride in the back. Theft warning. I guess there are some, and I have something here with the GoPro that I've recorded. There is potential to have certain things stolen, so just make sure you keep an eye out and lock up your car. Bicycles allowed on paved roads. Motorized scooters. Operators must have a driver's license or permit to operate. Love it. Motorhomes and trailers are limited to 35 feet. So there's interpreted programs, garbage, household garbage only. Don't take, your couches and throw them out there. Substances, protected plants, recyclables are there. Be careful of wildlife. There's information here about accessible parking. I'll leave a photo of that. Campfire center, lifeguards, be safe at the beach. All things, hopefully common sense for most people. That covers the rules. I am now going to talk about pros and cons and my experiences and recommendations. So let's jump into that. So number 1 pro, you're at the beach, again, sleeping with the waves in the background. Pretty awesome, to be totally honest with you. Number 2, it's well maintained. Lots of rangers driving by, the bathroom's relatively clean. There are showers there as well. It's just, it's well kept. It's a lot of people, but it's well kept. Resources, I mean, you got a ton of stuff within a 10 to 15 minute drive if you want. They have the restaurant there, but if you want to go get anything, even the Carlsbad Mall is pretty close by. It is flat, so for me, car tent's perfect. I love flat sites. And then there's stairs/beach access. Yeah, a few different places where you can actually go down to the beach. I was on site 66 and it was literally 1 site away. You can go down to the beach, we walked along it. Pretty freaking awesome. Now, on a much more random pro, this has by far been the most exciting. I walked around a lot. I like to walk around the campsites, walk my dog Lucy and just check out, you know, what are other kind of campers doing. The setups that I saw on this camping, I mean, people had, I saw one dude that had an RV and like every accessory possible, including his RV. You opened something up and he had a big screen TV. He was like streaming a game. I've never seen, I saw cars decorated for Halloween, RVs, full-blown decorated for Halloween. Honestly, worth a walk around if you're curious. This is the most RVs I've ever seen at a campsite. But man, people really, they bring their stuff here. All right, the cons, man, it's busy. It is a pretty busy campground, so don't expect to have like quiet, and especially on the north end, and I'll get to that in a second. It's expensive, as I mentioned. Man, inland, which, ocean campsite, which is where you want to be, it is 70 bucks a night. That's a decent amount. You know, if you're on the opposite side, on the inland side, I mean, you still get some of the perks, but honestly, you're next to the main road, which is another con. There's a main road right behind you. You know, not nearly. I wouldn't, like, I'd still go, but if this was on the inland campsite, I wouldn't be as excited. The main road I just mentioned, and then finding a site is a con. My God, man, it is, and I asked the ranger about this, it is an imperfect system for sure. It is unbelievably hard to get campsites just about anywhere in California, but especially these around the beach. I've been trying to camp here for a long time. Shitty thing is that out of all the days, this was the one day that we had unexpected rain for some reason, so it wasn't as enjoyable because there were some parts we were like hiding from the rain. It's tough to find a site. If you can go during the week, you'll have better luck, but for me, mainly on the weekends, that was rough. So those are pros, cons, recommendation. I have one more recommendation and then we'll jump into the video. And that is going to be knowing where to stay if you can't select. I'll put up a picture here, but it's basically when you go in, you have the option to go south and the option to go north. Now, I'm gonna talk about north here for a second because this is where we went. You can see that there's campsites on both sides of the road. Lots of water, bathrooms, all this stuff is there. You'll notice, so 66 all the way towards the end, not a lot of privacy, but that's okay. We actually had a really fun time. And I think because of the rain, we didn't have as many neighbors, which is part of what made the night enjoyable there. Now, part of what the ranger told me is that the north side has bigger sites. Our site was huge, and for that reason, you find a lot of families on the north side. So if you don't like kids, beware. Now on the south side, the sites are a little bit smaller, but if you look past like 152 and you look south of that, it's empty. So you no longer have somebody across from you, only next to you. If I could select any campsite I want here, I'd probably choose somewhere closer to the 156, to be honest. Being a little bit more secluded here by the beach, this would be pretty freaking awesome. All right, that covers a ton of information. Thanks for watching. Let's cut into the video and just get a sense of, you know, what the day was like, what you'd expect if you're there. And with that, I'll see you guys next week.